Well, it's an amazing clarity to me. It's come clear as a bell that the fight for America's soul is ongoing right now. This is what happens when you have arrogant Ivy Leaguers like Michelle Obama, who lies about her hard past when she had an elitist past, a past given to her on a silver spoon, inventing a past of hardship when it never existed. It's sickening.
He was still the guy who picked me up for our dates in a car that was so rusted out. I could actually see the pavement going by in a hole in the passenger side door.
She and Barack did not come from poverty, folks. They didn't face deep struggles. Michelle's dad in the 70s, his name was Fraser Robinson, and he was a pump operator at the Chicago City water plant. And it's been said that he earned $55,000 back in the 70s. I went to the inflation calculator. You know what $50,000 in the 1970s is equivalent to today? $282,000. And her mother, Marion Robinson, was a longtime secretary at Spiegel's, the catalog store. Somehow now, if you're not born to the struggle, then whatever you have is illegitimate. If you're born upper middle class, if you happen to be born in an upper income level, somehow your accomplishments and your achievements, they just aren't the same as somebody. And it's all part of this class warfare stuff that tears this country apart. So this incessant need to fabricate the struggles and the hardship that you come from. Hers wasn't that tough, and neither was Barack's. Her husband has been president for 4 years, and she had to tell us who he is last night. Stop and think about this. Stop and consider that. 4 years ago, empty canvas. He was the Messiah. He was the one, whatever anybody wanted him to be. But now she had to tell us about him. She had to tell us who he is. After 4 years, it just struck me as strange. And there's a lot of stuff she said that I didn't know.
When Barack was a senator and a presidential candidate, to me, he was still the guy who picked me up for our dates in a car that was so rusted out. I could actually see the pavement going by in a hole in the passenger side door. He was the guy whose proudest possession was a coffee table he'd found in a dumpster, and whose only pair of decent shoes was a half size too small.
Oh, gee, poor guy. And his brother in the hut still living that way. I wonder if Michelle's ever seen his college transcripts. Do you think she has? You think she knows about his college transcripts? Or anything that he wrote? Law review at Harvard? Her parents actually let her get in a car that had rusted out holes in the passenger side door. We really believe that Obama's proudest possession was a coffee table extricated from a dumpster dive? Why were Obama's shoes a half size too small? Anyway, we're supposed to conclude from that the guy was so poor and had so little and was just barely surviving, and he had to have his most prized possession was a coffee table from a garbage dumpster. Obama was working for a law firm when he started dating Michelle. He wasn't wearing shoes a half size too small when he was dating Michelle Obama. He's working at a law firm. I don't care. The point is, what the tugging at our heartstrings. Obama did not grow up in poverty. His grandmother, the typical white woman, worked in a bank. Don't give me this down with the struggle business. He wasn't down with the struggle. That's the whole point. Obama was raised by a banker. Obama went to the top private school in Hawaii. It had swimming pools, tennis courts. It had photo studios. They both attended elite schools. Michelle went to Whitney Young. Whitney Young was a public magnet school for Chicago's upper class. That's where Michelle went to school. Barack went to Punahou, which is the private prep school for the top strata of Hawaii society. And then they were both accepted to Ivy League schools despite having less than stellar credentials. You might say that they were affirmative action admissions. But they didn't come from poverty. I'm supposed to know now that the Obamas don't care about material possessions. She said that. Despite the cost of her wardrobe, despite the lavish parties, despite the Hollywood fundraisers, and despite, she said she traveled this country. I said, well, what about the world? How about all these separate vacations that you take, madam? With the separate airplane and a traveling party of 35 or 40 that you're not paying for. And you want us to believe that you don't care about material things? Sorry, I didn't swallow that one.